Well, hey there folks, welcome back to the channel. This is Vlad with Review Outdoor Gear, and today I want to review for you guys an electric chainsaw. This was sent to us by the company. Full disclosure, this is not a paid review, but this was provided free of charge. So I will do my best to be unbiased. I am and have been forever a gas chainsaw user. I do a lot of forestry, cutting wood. So I've been using gas chainsaws forever. So today I might kind of do a little bit of a comparison, pros and cons between electric and gas. These are both 16-inch bars. Actually, one's 14. 16, 14. So kind of, I've been using this thing for a month or so, a few weeks, pretty often, almost daily. So I'll kind of give you some of my personal likes and dislikes, what I do like about it, what I don't like about it, and just kind of what a good use for it is. So let's get into it. So this is a 40 volt chainsaw. It's a brushless chainsaw made by Wild Badger Electric, not a super well-known brand, but I think they sell them at like Lowe's and stuff, and you can buy them online. It's powered by a 4 watt-hour battery, lithium battery that goes right in here. And it does come with a battery and a charger. Unlike some companies, I think if you buy the chainsaw, it's just a chainsaw. So that is nice. It's a pretty easy way to get into electric chainsaws. And at a pretty good price. I think they run about $180, $200 or so. So not cheap. That's about what you can buy a decent chainsaw for, but not too expensive either. I know a lot of other electric chainsaw or companies that make electric chainsaws are a lot more expensive. So a good way to get started. So what I do like about it is it's super user friendly. There's not a whole lot of fiddling with it that you have to do. It's almost like Apple phones, right? They're easy to use, they're simple, not a lot of user interface issues. So all there is just a battery. You plug that in. There's a chain brake right here. You put the oil in here, and I'll show you some of that stuff up closer later. But that's it. It's good to go. It tensions the chain automatically, so you don't need to worry about that too much. You can take the cover off here and take the chain off and inspect the insides and whatnot. But really, it's just a case with electric motor and a battery and an oiler on it. So it's pretty simple. The quality of it is not bad. It's not amazing. It's not like the highest quality machine you'll find out there. It's all plastic. There's no really metal parts on it except the bar, the chain, the screws and stuff. But I mean, a lot of chainsaws these days are being made that way anyways. So unless you're getting the super high-end stuff, you're not seeing a lot of metal anymore. But it is kind of just like a clamshell construction compared to maybe some of these other ones, that are a little bit more intricate and have a different design, where it's a little bit more built to be more robust and kind of with some hex, designs in there to be reinforced. This is mostly just kind of a clamshell design. But it's not really a bad thing. I mean, it's been good so far. I would not say it's designed to be used as a professional, everyday chainsaw. It's definitely like a weekend use, occasional use type saw. But that's kind of the pros about it. One of the pros I love about it is it's so easy to use. Traditionally with a gas chainsaw, if you want to go cut some wood, even a little bit, you got to go get it, you got to start it, you got to let it warm up, and then you got to, you can do your thing. What I've been loving about the electric aspect is you just grab it, pull the brake, and you're done. That's all. And the nice thing is, if you're kind of out doing something on the property, you're kind of, cutting wood and you're stacking logs or something, and you need to make cuts every once in a while, like not consistently. With a gas chainsaw, that's kind of one of the, the eternal issues of the chainsaws. You got to either keep it running the whole time, or you got to pull start it and then you can cut. And if you've waited too long, then you've got to go through the starting procedure, you got to prime it, all that. With this, what I really loved, I've been prepping for winter, been stacking tons of wood and cutting wood and I've been using this a lot just for that. Like, you know, when I fell a big tree and you cut it up and you cut all the branches off, sometimes you don't notice a few of them that are kind of sticking on the bottom. You got to start your chainsaw to cut that off. But with this, it's been great. You just grab it, cut it off, and put it away, and you're done. And that conserves energy, conserves your battery life. Or, you know, on a gas chainsaw, you'd be using gas for all that. So I do like that for sure. So definitely one of the pros. It is a little bit lighter than a gas chainsaw, but not a ton. I wouldn't say it's significant. Especially like between these two, they're pretty significant. I mean, on a gas chainsaw, you know, as you go through your use, you'll get less gas in it, so it'll get a little bit lighter, and this won't do that, but that's not really a significant amount. I do wish that this one was maybe a little bit more robust up front where it makes contact with the wood. It does have some of these kind of ribs here that kind of protect your chainsaw from getting beat up and stuff, but it'd be nice if there was maybe a little bit of the bucking teeth or something, at least some plastic ones. Even this little cheap one's got a couple of the plastic teeth that kind of dig into the wood, and it really does help to kind of push it through the wood. But I think it just kind of speaks to the use for this chainsaw, and that is kind of just occasional light duty use, though it will cut through some big logs. Let me actually cut that in right here. The ones I'm sitting on here, I cut them just a minute ago. So let me show you how that went. So here I've got a 20-inch log or so, getting thicker that way. My big old steel gas chainsaw is being sharpened right now, so I thought I'd give it a shot with this tiny little 16-inch bar to cut it on both sides, see how it does. So I already cut a log here, but I'll record one so you can see how it does. So as you can see, it did pretty well actually. Definitely not fast, but it never really bound up a whole lot, and it made it through, and it's still plenty sharp. The thing I've noticed when I have used a lot of electric chainsaws that I think they kind of sneakily do, not that it makes a big difference, but they definitely make the chains a lot thinner. Even on this Echo saw here, that's got a 14-inch bar, the chain width is definitely wider. And so with the wider chain, you need more power to take more wood out. And so with a thinner chain and subsequently a thinner bar, excuse me, you're needing less energy to make that cut, right? But that does come with the drawbacks of you do have a less strong bar, it definitely can flex it easier. It's a thinner chain, so weaker might break easier. So there are some trade-offs there. Thinner bar, weaker, but cuts faster. So it definitely is nice compared to a gas chainsaw. You definitely feel a difference in torque, right? With the gas chainsaw, you kind of have to get it revved up to a certain spot where it'll cut well. With this one, it's just kind of instantaneous, and that's kind of true of any electric vehicle or tool where you have that that instant. Come on. oh, doesn't start. Where you have that instant torque and response. Actually, one thing you'll notice here, what is nice is that it won't start. So you kind of notice there, I try to start it, but it won't start spinning unless you take the brake off. So it kind of has an electronic, like a kill switch there, which is nice. You know, you don't accidentally rev your engine or try to push it against the brake. It does also have electronic anti-kickback features where it'll stop the chain if it feels like it's kicking up, which is kind of nice actually. I just got a couple cool features that you don't see in a gas chainsaw. So definitely a cool little tool. If you're looking to get into, just started into electric chainsaw, you're not sure if you want one or if it's a good fit for you, it's definitely a good option to try this one out. It's built well enough that it will actually serve your purposes and not just kind of fall apart on you. So there you go. Let's do some cutting with it. It's enough talking. And I'll kind of show you how it works, how it cuts. I got a bunch of branches here I got to cut up more. So I'll kind of show you how this one works compared to the gas one and just see if that can give you some more information. So let's do it. All right, so here I got a bunch of branches, all different sizes, 2-inch, 3-inch, 6-inch. So let's kind of do some cutting, limbing, and you can see how it performs. Let's see, we can start down here. Some of those are kind of stuck in there. Let's dig these guys out over here. I have noticed when you're doing kind of back cuts, the chain's a little bouncy. It kind of likes to kick a little bit, so be careful with that. But it really does cut pretty well. It cuts through stuff really quick. Not a lot of effort there. One thing I have kind of noticed, it's got a little bit of a delay on the trigger. Like when you go to press the buttons, there's like it's not long, but it's just a split second of a delay where it's kind of, if you're used to a gas chainsaw, let's turn that on. Like you have that immediate response, right? If you're using gas chainsaw, you're used to that, right? But with the electric one, I've kind of noticed there's a bit of a delay, you know? That's been a little bit annoying. Not terrible, but you get used to it eventually. But definitely a big difference I noticed when I started using the gas versus electric. So just keep that in mind. Let's keep cutting here. See if I can adjust the frame a little bit. So let's see. Got some more branches here. Another thing to consider, obviously with electric chainsaw, is you don't have a ton of energy, right? Like with the gas chainsaw, you can bring a ton of gas with you. With this, you're limited to your battery. If you bring another battery, then you've got that, but eventually you're gonna run out. So kind of going back to like what I was saying, where definitely more of like a occasional or like intermittent use thing, whereas if you're trying to do like work for all day long, you better bring a ton of batteries or have a charger or like multiple chargers. And that comes with its own problems, right? But for stuff like this, it's great. Let's cut a little more. What else do we have here? Let's bring this big guy over here. More of that. Oh, one thing that is really great that I've definitely appreciate is the noise difference, right? If you're using a gas chainsaw, you got to be wearing hearing protection. With the electric chainsaw, it's actually significantly quieter. It says on here that it's up to 102 decibels, which is pretty loud and would require hearing protection. But the whole time I've used it, I have a decibel meter on my watch, and it goes off if something's too loud. Like definitely when I use the gas chainsaw, it goes off, but it hasn't gone off even once with this, and it's right here, right next to it. So it's definitely really quiet. And it's quieter than a lot of other electric chainsaws I've used. Not sure why, but I've used a couple other brands, and they are, for some reason, significantly louder. Maybe it's just the way their engines or motors are built or whatever, but this one actually is comfortable to use without hearing protection. Obviously, I'm not recommending you do that, but personally, I haven't noticed it being too loud that I feel like it's damaging my hearing. So really a big